He was trapped in the darkest forest. All he did was go in circles, looking for a way out. But it turns out, there was no way. Even going upward was a dead end. The birds flew away from this forest like there was something sinister. And truly there was, as this man was pulled by an unforeseeable force. Mina was a 28-year-old artist, stuck in a pet store in Galway, Ireland. It was a dead-end job, just like her life was. And in order to find some excitement, she changed her appearance every night, visiting bars with different identities. One fateful day at her job, her boss sends her to deliver a rare parrot to a zoo in Belfast. On her way, she receives an unexpected call from her sister Lucy. It's been 15 years since their mom died, and she has never gone to see her. She listens to the voicemail and ominously recites her sister's words. On her way to the zoo, she passes through a forest, and her car just strangely stops. She was in complete shock, but it turns out her car was faulty and nothing mysterious. She ends up carrying the bird, realizing the zoo is not that far from their current location. She walks further than she expected, but not seeing a way forward, she decides to return. But looking back, her previous path had been erased. Her car was gone. She walked out screaming for anyone who could help her. Luckily, she found a woman with pure white hair who was running away from her. She chased after her to stop, but she kept going until she finally spoke, asking her to follow if she didn't want to die. She followed her into a bunker and was immediately added to a ritual. They stood in front of a mirror, saying,
"They're coming."
Mina was completely lost by this, but he urged her to step forward so they could properly see her. After this inspection, Mina was told the whole truth. They were stuck in this forest under the rule of mysterious creatures known as the Watchers. Mina thought she was unsuccessful the first time. Maybe she could find a path this time, but she did not. Madeline told her they had all tried, but to no avail. Mina decides to settle down and learn about her new mate. Mina's goal in life has always been escape. Her whole life had prepared her for this very adventure. She was able to convince a guy named Daniel, who had been stuck in the forest for 8 months and 3 days. He was tired of hiding from a creature that he had never seen, that had complete control over his life. He ended up helping Mina to explore their lair to see what they were all about, and in doing so, she made these creatures mad. On the next night of inspection, they almost broke the glass and killed them all, but they gave in and showed mercy. But now Mina was not the only problem. Daniel wanted answers too. Somehow, Mina created a revolution that Madeline had been trying to avoid for months. In their exploration, they found a video camera which they used to be able to see the monsters. But the monsters never appeared. A man did. His name was John, Ciara's husband. She was so happy to finally hear from him, but Madeline was never going to allow her to open the door. The creatures hid in the day and only came at night. Whoever this man was not John anymore, Madeline said. To test this theory, Ciara asked him a question only he would know, and truly, he did not have an answer. The monsters appeared shortly and pulled him at the door of the coop, leaving Ciara completely heartbroken. Madeline tried to make everyone follow the rules of these creatures, and it had kept them safe for a long time. But now Daniel didn't just want answers, he wanted a way out and was ready to risk everything for it. He grabbed Ciara and they ran into the coop, leaving Madeline and Mina outside to face the wrath of these creatures. They hid in an abandoned treehouse as these creatures came for their regular inspection. Mina was shocked to finally see what they looked like, and Daniel incited them by letting them know not everyone was in the bunker. They scattered hastily to look for them, and they both ran to the coop door. Mina was able to talk her way in, reasoning with Daniel by telling him her life story. She could never go and see her mother because she's the reason she died. On a fateful afternoon, while their mom drove, she asked her to sit down quietly and place her hands on her lap. But Mina refused to listen, putting her hands on the car window as her mom tried to lock it. In the confusion, they ended up in a car accident, and her sister tried to resuscitate her while she just watched. Daniel ended up opening the door, and Madeline reacted accordingly, but the damage had already been done, and now these creatures were out to kill them all. In the chaos, they finally realized after all these months that beneath them was a hidden bunker, and that was their only way to safety. In this hidden bunker, they found out about a professor who used this bunker years ago before they arrived. He did research on these creatures and ended up hating himself for it. Nobody wanted to watch the tapes, but because of Mina's persistence, in one of the videos was a way out of this hellhole. They were finally so happy, they danced, but the real fight began the next morning. They had to find a boat, and so they started their journey, but the creatures were never going to allow them go without a fight. They were tired and cold, but they kept running, with Madeline leading the way, and they finally reached the end, seeing the boats the professor left. They were really getting out of here. As the ladies went to untie the boat, Daniel thought he saw John and tried to help him run away with them. Ciara convinced him that it wasn't John, but it was too late, and they rode away, looking at Daniel join the army of the dead. They found the streets and boarded a bus. They were finally free. The only thing left was to destroy the professor's research to avoid people from exploring that forest. Mina took the liberty of visiting the professor's office to see his work, but she was more than amazed at what she found. She drove to Ciara's place immediately and showed her. It turns out, Madeline was a dead woman and was also the wife of the professor who previously visited the forest, and they started to wonder if they somehow brought a creature into their world. They both end up calling Madeline to talk to her, but then somehow Ciara arrives and Mina begins to question her reality. Ciara was never Ciara. Mina tries to warn the real Ciara, but she gets hit in the end. Madeline almost kills Mina until she realizes Madeline could walk in the sun because she was half human, half creature. Madeline begins to transform and goes into the world to explore her theory. She was a halfling, and Mina believed there were other people like her. Mina finally meets her sister to talk about their mother's death, and interestingly, Lucy was an identical twin sister, which made you question that reality, while Madeline transformed into a child looking over them. Moral of the story?